Hello everyone, my name is Kobey Smith, and my project is called Utilizing Iconography, Color, and Typography to Tell Stories. Iconography is the study of visual images and symbols used in a work of art. Color is the property possessed by an object of producing different sensations on the eye as a result of the way the object reflects or emits light. And typography is the art and technique of arranging type to make written language legible, readable, and appealing when displayed. The artist that inspired me to do this project was Keith Haring. What I like about Keith Haring's work is that he utilized iconography, stick figures, and simplistic art forms to talk about HIV and the drug movement. He also influenced the artwork of Kenny Scraft and John Michael Basquiat. Keith Haring was also inspired by the work of his father Alan Haring, Walt Disney, and Dr. Seuss. Throughout his career, Keith Haring has also collaborated with Madonna, Andy Warhol, and Yoko Ono. My three favorite Keith Haring art pieces are The Radiant Baby, Lucky, and Free South Africa. As you can see, The Radiant Baby utilizes both of color and iconography to create that piece. Lucky utilizes all three of the elements of typography, color, and iconography, and so does Free South Africa. My first two art pieces are called Falling Part 1 and Falling Part 2. So as you can see in both of these art pieces, I did utilize both color and iconography. I really wanted to tell this story of just you feeling like you're falling from like all these expectations that life has to offer you. That was my whole approach, just to show how life can be stressful, and sometimes when you fall, you just have to pick yourself back up. The only difference between the two is that in Falling Part 2, I used a little bit of typography on the bottom when it says, I feel like I'm falling. My second pieces of artwork are called Peace and Prosperity and Keep Out. So for both of these, I think I did a pretty good job utilizing iconography, typography, and color. What's the same about both of those pieces are that there's a utilization of black to show like fear and being scared. But also I feel like me utilizing the color white also shows that there's a calming effect. Like you can see in Peace and Prosperity, there's a white bird in the middle of all the dark, scary chaos to show that there's always light and darkness. And the same thing I did with Keep Out was I had the picture of the skull within the box, the black box, to show that sometimes you feel like you're in a box with life, and sometimes people just think you're crazy and that you need to find help. But it shows that there's always something good in there that people always look past. And that was my concept when creating both of these. Are called Power and Prayer and Love. So for Power and Prayer, what I utilized the most was iconography and color. So what I like the most about this piece is that, I did utilize the black in the backgrounds and having like the cities in back of it. But what I'm really proud of is having the cross up front with the praying hands to the side to show that even with the chaos going on in this world, for me being a religious person, I think it's important to always pray, because prayer might be the light within the darkness, and having a strong belief in God is something that I take seriously. Now on the right, what's different is love. Again, the concept is kind of the same. There's always the darkness in the background. People always thinking there's something negative going on, but I have the word spread it out, LOVE, which spells love. And then I have a red flower within the middle, and a red flower that's a rose usually represents love and passion and compassion for someone else. And that was my concept and the way I was thinking when I was creating both of these pieces. These pieces are called Depressed and Help This World. So on the left, I utilize a gray background in Depressed because that actually is the color for depression. And I think I did a good job of using iconography within this piece as well, because as you can see, there's two guys at a bar talking, but then there's the bartender, and they're all having a dialogue with each other. How the guy on the far left, he says nobody loves him and that he can't live with himself. And then the guy over on the right, the bartender, he just said, shuts up and get a job. And I think that's just a resemblance of how people view mental health today. Someone is really in pain in this photo, and the fact that nobody is addressing it seriously, I feel that's how society treats mental health problems, and I want to represent that in the picture. And at the bottom, I use a unique type of text to talk about, well, to actually define the word depressed. And for Help This World, I really like this one because it was very simple, but I think it tells the story very well. As you can see, there's the two hands that are going up to the sky, as in like you're praying, and it says, Father, help this world. Again, like very religious. When people think of heaven, they think of something that's white and beautiful and pure. And you just have the words of Father, help this world in a black font, is to show like the pain and suffering that's coming from this person's life. These next two pieces are called Crying for Help and Agony. In Crying for Help, I utilize all three art forms that I'm talking about, but I feel like what stands out the most is the icon and the typography. As you can see, there is a red human, so red captures the human eye and it lures you into the picture. But also I focus on the typography. I made sure that the problems that this man is suffering is on the laptop, as you can see, and also made sure that I have a text box of this man saying, I need help, to show that he is going through some type of pain that needs to be addressed. Now on the right, I didn't really do much. This is a photograph that I took when I was in Iceland, and I just put agony on it because the sculpture looks like that they are all like in pain and they're suffering. And I thought just placing agony in the middle is a good representation of what's going on in this photo. These next two pieces are called Clouded Judgment and Pure Power. So my concept when creating Clouded Judgment was to create something that represents like anger, rage, and depression. And as you can see, the background is blue, and the individual who has the guitar in their hand ready to smash the guitar actually has a cloud that's over him because he's being clouded with the expectations of life. And as you can see, there's a lot of rain that's falling down on him because of the clouded judgments. Now, the second picture is called Pure Power, and what I really like about this picture is that I utilize purple a lot, and purple represents power and authority. And I feel like that really translates this in this picture because you can see a lot of people in a room socializing at a very high-class event. These two pieces here are called Veto/Vote and Free. On the left, for the Veto/Vote, I used all the colors on the American flag to showcase that we're having an election coming up, and I feel like it's very important for us to use our vote, not veto our right to vote. And I did that by putting vote over veto to represent the way that I feel and the way that most Americans should feel with this upcoming election. And for free, I just chose these colors at random because I wanted to represent the freedom that I have as an artist to just put whatever I want together for work. And I feel like when you're creating art like music, you just have that freedom. And as you can see, like the person is listening to music. And when you're listening to music, you feel free because nobody can bother you. You're just expressing yourself through a song that you really like. And that was my concept when designing this piece. These two pieces are called Cultural Betrayal and Life of the Party. For Cultural Betrayal, I chose to use two different shades of brown to represent the types of skin color that is in the African American community. And as you could see, the text at the top is red and the text at the bottom is blue because those represent two common gang colors within the African American community known as the Bloods and as the Crips. Now for Life of the Party, there wasn't really any structure to this. I just put this together because I thought it looked amazing. The icons were awesome and they all represented music and just being active out on the party and having a good old time. These two pieces are called Control Your Life and All Men Are Gross. For Control Your Life, what I'm most proud of is using the iconography in the middle to show how you can't just pause your life. Life keeps going. You can't fast forward it. You can't rewind it. You can't stop it. The only time it stops is when you die. And I want people to see this and get the concept that, you're the one who is in control of everything that happens to you. So you have to live by that. for All Men Are Gross, I chose a different approach. I like utilizing the blue color because that's actually the color that they use for the male symbol. And as you can see, there's two men that are thinking about women in a completely different way. As you can see, the guy on the left, he's actually a feminist, and that's why I put the feminist logo in his stop bubble. And the guy on the right, he's thinking about women in a very inappropriate and negative way. And I just want to show that there's always two sides, that not all men are the same. These pieces are called Mixed Personalities and Backyard Hoops. I utilize the color yellow for the background of Mixed Personalities because that shade of yellow represents mixed emotions. And as you can see in the photo, there is a smiley face in the top right, and on the left is a frown face. Now for Backyard Hoops, there wasn't really any structure to this. I just created some icons of two people playing basketball, and I just liked the colors that went with it. So I just put all four pieces together and made it one. These final two pieces are called Inner Peace and Vibrant Girl. So for Inner Peace, I wanted to utilize all three art forms that I talked about. As you can see, there's an orange background that represents destruction, but what's different is that the two people meditating, they have a completely different color because they're not letting what's happening on the outside disrupt what's going on with them eternally. And that's why I put Eternal Peace on the front. Now for Vibrant Girl, I like using this reddish orange color because it really represents someone being vibrant. And as you can see, this girl sitting in the chair, she has a lot of attitude, and she just has a different personality. And that's why when I did Vibrant with the text, I really want to make it look different compared to the girl at the bottom. And this last page is just my works cited. Overall, this is my whole presentation, and I thank everybody here for watching it. And I hope you enjoy the rest of Experiential Learning Day.